Hey everybody, CJ Thomas, St. Louis Fitness Bootcamp. Today we're doing Would You Eat It Wednesday. Back at you once again. This time we're talking about bacon. Bacon. Would you eat it? I asked my people. Some of them said yes, love me some bacon. Some of them said no, I will not be putting bacon in my diet as part of a healthy plan. And some of them said, what about bacon vodka? Really? Bacon vodka? I don't know, that sounds kind of gross to me, but you know, to each their own, I guess. We're going to talk about bacon in a little more detail here. I even had a bacon advertiser come on my page today and talk about how they've got the best bacon around. So a lot of differing opinions out there. In fact, as you branch out a little bit, you may find that the paleo community very heavy on the bacon. They like the bacon a lot. It's got protein in there. We like our protein if we're paleo, right? Ketogenic community is very high on bacon as well. It's a fat-based product, so they like their high fat-based products, but we got to be careful with what fats we're putting in our body, okay? Some fat's good, some fat's bad, some protein's good, some protein's bad, paleo people. So, vegan community obviously against bacon, and then you got people like Jim Gaffigan who can write 30 minutes of stand-up jokes just on bacon, okay? He's glorifying bacon for like a half hour in his stand-up. It's really hilarious actually, but it's something we're going to talk about in detail why or why not you might want to have bacon as part of your diet, okay? So, when we're talking about a meat, any meat, we have to go back to the source, okay? We have to go back to the way that animal was raised, what it was eating, how it was living. This is very imperative because this animal is going in you, okay? And it's going to make up your new cells. So this is something we have to think about. Not all animals are alike. Based on the way they're raised, based on the way you and somebody else live their life, you might be a lot healthier or unhealthier than somebody else based on life decisions. It's the same for a pig, it's the same for a cow, it's the same with anything, okay? So we're talking about pigs when we're talking about bacon. Bacon is fed GMO corn, GMO soy, and a lot of other processed stuff. Now I'm gonna go deeper into a pig's, you know, eating repertoire, if you will, because a pig's got a wide range of the things that they will eat, which I'm gonna talk about in a bit. But just know for now that it's getting some not so natural food, okay? Not so great food to start out with, okay? So, these products also, the corn and the soy, are stored in silos a lot of time, and the silos on the farm, once you leave food in there for months and months and months and months, you know, this food can be susceptible to mold. So, pig eats mold, you eat the pig, you get mold in your body. That's the way this works. Same thing with antibiotics. Pigs are given antibiotics to help make them fatter quicker, to help cure them from all the sickness they're getting from the nasty stuff they're being given, okay? So antibiotics, that is going in your body too. You eat the pig, you eat its antibiotics. Hormones are not in pigs, okay? So you may see on bacon packages out there, you may read and you're trying to be a good consumer, you're trying to look at the package and discern, is this a good bacon product? And it says hormone free on there. Well, guess what? All bacon is hormone free, okay? It's not allowed in America. You're not allowed to put hormones in pigs. I don't know why pigs get special treatment on the hormone front, but that's the way it is, okay? So pigs are hormone free, and they can put that on the label. It doesn't really tell you anything about the product other than they're doing what they already had to do. So, that being said, living conditions for pigs, very, very nasty, okay? They're in confined spaces, they're treated poorly, they are, you know, very inhumanely treated, so if that's something that concerns you, another thing to keep in mind, if we're talking about, you know, these regular industrial raised animals, okay? The industrial farms out there, not doing things very well, not treating pigs or many other animals very well for that matter. So, bacon, where does it come from? It comes from the belly of the pig, can come from the shoulder, can come from the loin. What do you do once you get this hunk of meat? What happens to it? Well, it's dipped in a bunch of sugar and salt, okay? So that is how you cure, quote unquote, cure bacon, is by putting sugar and salt around it. So already you've got a pretty heavily processed product. You know, it was eating a bunch of processed food, it was living in terrible conditions, and just to cure it, just to preserve it, they've put sugar and salt on it, okay? And something you've got to be concerned about is too much sugar, too much unnatural salt in your diet. We can talk about a different kind of salt in another video, but that being said, how else do they preserve it? Nitrates and nitrites. You may have heard these two words surrounding bacon, okay? So people will tell you, you got to get your nitrite free, you got to get your nitrate free bacon, and that is the healthier version. Not necessarily, guys, okay? So nitrates and nitrites actually occur naturally in vegetables. Now, the reason they're not that big of a deal in vegetables is because vegetables have antioxidants built into there. And this is another big point for whole foods, by the way. We talk about, just pulling out specific vitamins, specific minerals, but when we talk about everything in concert, the whole food, the reason why a nitrate or nitrate on its own might be a different thing than when it's in the whole food is because it's packaged with antioxidants to help nullify that fact, okay? So the nitrates and nitrites, not that big a deal in vegetables. However, when we put them on top of meat and we cook that meat, then it can turn into nitrosamines, and nitrosamines are the things that can be linked to cancer, so that can be potentially cancer causing for you. So just because a label says nitrate or nitrite free, by the way, does not really tell you very much, because they are using a nitrate or nitrite substitute that comes from celery, and when they're using the celery, they know that the bacteria in there are going to transform it into nitrates and nitrites, but they can get away with saying no nitrates or nitrites added. Tricky, right? Yeah, a little tricky, because there might be twice as many nitrates or nitrites naturally occurring from the celery salt that they put in there. So it's all smokescreen. It's all, it all comes back once again to trying to deceive the consumer into believing that they're eating something healthier than they actually are, okay? So, are the nitrates and nitrites harmful? They can be when you cook the meat, okay? Like I said, this turns it into nitrosamines. I know lots of nitro words in here, but nitrosamines are the harmful thing that can turn into cancer in your body, okay? So, let's go moving on here to cooking. So we've got this product at this point. Now you're going to cook it, okay? So the nitrosamines can turn into cancer-causing participants in your food. And then if you overcook, so a lot of people like to do their crispy bacon, okay? So this will oxidize the meat, this will denature the meat, and this will cause inflammation. So if you overcook the meat, then you've got a problem. However, if you undercook the meat, that can cause another problem, because pigs have parasites. They are very prone to having parasites, and it doesn't bother them quite so much, but it will bother you if you get live parasites in your system, okay? So another thing to keep in mind, too high cooking, too low cooking, you better find just the right setting on that stove to cook that bacon up and not make it too crispy and overdo it. And even then, like we've said, there's a bunch of issues preceding this time to where we got to the stove, right? Microwave bacon, I'm not even gonna bother, it's crap, okay? Let's just move on. If you got microwave bacon, get it out of the house right now. Pro tips, if you're trying to make your bacon marginally, and I'm emphasizing marginally better because at this point maybe you're seeing that I'm not a big fan of bacon. However, if you marinate your bacon in apple cider vinegar, this has the effect of preventing red blood cell clotting. This is something that happens with bacon, is it causes red blood cells to clump up, and apparently by soaking it, marinating it in apple cider vinegar, you can prevent some of that. Another pro tip for you, you can use turmeric on your bacon. So turmeric is loaded in antioxidants. This might prevent some of the bad stuff that you're dealing with bacon, but it's not a cure-all by any means, okay? Some additional concerns. No, we're not done yet. There's still additional concerns here. So we've just talked about the basics, the basics of what goes into bacon, okay? Additional concerns. They've got other additives, okay? They've got other flavorings. They've got MSG is very commonly added to bacon, okay? This is an excitotoxin, excites your cells to the point of death. This is a neurotoxin. Neurotoxins can be linked to Alzheimer's disease. And they also use liquid smoke. This is another process that they use to plump up the bacon so that it looks bigger in the package, okay? You can't make this stuff up, guys, okay? So the pump and plump process, this is actually genotoxic and cytotoxic, meaning it's toxic to your genes and it's toxic to your cells, okay? So this liquid smoke is something that you also want to watch out for, and I don't necessarily know if they even have to include that on the label or not. That's maybe worth looking into as well. However, the liquid smoke, has been said to potentially be more cancerous than cigarette smoke, okay? So really, really, really something to watch out for at this point. All right, so also, yeah, we got another one. The World Health Organization classifies processed meat as a class 1 carcinogen, okay? So processed meat, this is bacon, this is, a lot of sausages, this is deli meat, this is hot dogs. So I'm sorry, if you're having your bologna or a turkey sandwich every day, this is something to watch out for. If you're getting a hot dog eating contest with Joey Chestnut out there on the 4th of July, this is another problem for you, okay? So we gotta watch out for this stuff. All the processed meats are very, very potentially cancer causing, so you gotta watch out for that, okay? Definitely limit that stuff. So, I can figure at this point that you're either turned off of this video, or maybe you're excited about all this news, all this new information that you're learning, but maybe you're still curious, What about pastured bacon? You're talking about industrial farmed bacon. What about pastured bacon that was put on a good farm? You know, this pig was taken care of, it was loved, maybe given hugs and that kind of stuff, and then taken to slaughter, which is kind of odd, but here's the thing, okay? I'm reminded of the movie Pulp Fiction, and I'm going to tell you why here. So Pulp Fiction, the actor Samuel L. Jackson, his character, they're sitting down, him and John Travolta are sitting down and eating breakfast, and he's telling John Travolta why he doesn't eat bacon. He says, a pig is a filthy animal. Pig's a filthy animal. I'm not going to eat that, okay? So straight up, and Travolta's like, yeah, but bacon's good. Pork chops are good, okay? And I bring that up to say, you know, he's kind of got a good point there, because a pig is a filthy animal. What does a pig actually do? It eats everything, okay? Everything. This includes garbage. Literally, pigs will eat your garbage. Pigs will eat their own feces. They will eat dead carcasses. They will eat their own young in some cases. I saw one page where a pig actually ate a car, ate the metal off the sides of a car, which was pretty impressive to me. And another instance, which I found, where a pig actually ate its own farmer. I think this happened several years ago, where the farmer wasn't paying attention and the pig ate him too, okay? So the pig will eat absolutely anything in its tracks, and a pig is renowned on the farm as the garbage disposal of the farm, because it will eat everything inside, okay? So a pig doesn't discern, a pig doesn't care, and a pig's anatomy is such that it's built for that, okay? It can take in all kinds of stuff, even food that's not food. Car? You can't eat a car, can you? Yes, apparently you can. You can eat metal and garbage and stuff like that, even your own feces in some cases. Thank you for that. But the point is, a pig has no selection whatsoever in what it will eat, okay? So it will naturally go around and just hoover up anything it can find. And this is something you gotta watch out for, okay? So if a pig eats anything, it means the meat inside the pig is loaded with these toxins, and you're going to eat those toxins when you eat the pig, okay? Bacon is mostly fat. That's where a lot of those toxins are going to be stored, is in the fat of the pig. So that's what you're putting directly in your body when you're eating bacon. Even a good pig is going to be eating some junk out there, unless he was like, you know, watched like a hawk and made sure that he only ate, you know, vegetables or something like that. But it's just natural. That's what a pig does. It eats everything, okay? So a pig's a filthy animal. That's my point right there. And pigs' meat is also high in omega-6 fats, so that's something we want to watch out for. Omega-3 fats versus omega-6 fats, you want them to be closer to 1-to-1. Omega-6 are jacked up in our society. We got to watch out for that. Talked about pigs being susceptible to parasites, another concern, and also, you know, there's a lot of religions. In the Bible, in the Old Testament, it says, you know, don't eat pigs, because pigs are, you know, this animal that doesn't really care what it eats, okay? So, not to get religious or anything like that, not that you have to follow the Old Testament to the letter, because you really shouldn't. There's some things in there that probably don't need to be followed at this point. That being said, there's probably wisdom that's being handed down at some point that's saying, you know, there's probably a reason you don't want to eat pigs, okay? So I just threw that in there as an extra tidbit at the end. You know, you don't have to take the Bible portion of it at all, but it's just interesting to me. You know, some of this wisdom is passed down from generation to generation because they've found, you know, this isn't doing us a lot of good, okay? What about turkey bacon? Can I have my turkey bacon instead? I think that's probably a little bit better. Soy bacon, no. Bacon alternatives, faking bacon, you know, that kind of stuff, no. You know, like I said, let's recap this real quick here and just tell you, pastured bacon, better than factory bacon. You know, if you add your apple cider vinegar and your turmeric, a little better still. If you were to switch to turkey bacon, a little better still. But best of all is to avoid bacon. You know, this is not something that's going to be good for you. This is, you know, you have to remember, this is a filthy animal. If you think about stuff in nature, certain animals are the scavengers. Certain animals are the bottom feeders in the ocean and in the rivers, okay? They clean up the stuff that nobody else is supposed to eat. They've got metabolism, they've got specific anatomies that are specifically designed for that purpose, and it's a good thing, because if there's no maggots out there eating carcasses, we're going to be swimming in dead stuff around us. So this stuff helps return everything back to the earth the way it's supposed to be. But you know, you probably don't want to be eating these bottom feeders, these things that are eating all the junk out there, because then you're putting junk inside yourself, okay? That's the way pigs are treated. That's the way we need to treat pigs, okay? So it's not that we need to hate on pigs or anything like that. You can still keep them as a pet if you like pigs that way, but I wouldn't keep it at the breakfast table as my top choice. So get that out of there, especially if your goal is weight loss, if it's getting healthier and that kind of stuff. You know, a strip of bacon here and there on occasion may be okay, but if you're going to make this a habit, I think you're going to have some issues arise from that. So thank you guys for watching this one. Hope that clears some things up on the bacon front for you, and hope to see you in the next Would You Eat It Wednesday. Thanks for watching. Bye.